Okay. Bad joke. All right, let's see if I can get some screen time here. If you guys can see me and hear me, and we'll get this show on the road here. Hmm. So, waiting for my computer. That good old delay always pop up. Let's see what we got here. TikTok. Wilderness calls. Modemer 555. I'm trying to read this on my phone. I can see me. Grandma Prepper. Lorna 5x5. Okay, a few of you guys are seeing it. All right, Jacob, Stolen Soul, Berserker, Pennsylvania Mama Bear. Okay, good deal. You guys can hear me. All right, welcome to another Saturday. Here it is. Can you guys believe we're at the end of April already? It's like unbelievable. I saw in the comments here about 5 minutes ago, somebody says you're supposed to get snow tonight. I'm like, where the hell do you live? The Arctic Circle? You know, it's cool here. It's supposed to be in the 60s for the next week, which is normal spring weather for me. The cabbages are loving it. The peas, the onions are loving it, everything like that. So, but Mrs. P and I were out finishing cleaning off the pond today and just doing a lot of spring yard cleanup. So once we get, hopefully Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to get out and actually be able to cut this, take the mower over the straw where we planted grass and shred that up a little bit because we got grass coming through in spots. So once we can do that, then I can kind of figure out a little better where the new gardens are going and be able to put those in. So that's kind of the game plan around here. So yeah, it was another day outside, but it was nice and cool, so that helped. Not out here in the 90 degrees with 100% humidity. So far we're having a cool spring. I'll take it. So, all right, not a lot going on today, other than Joe's latest idiotic thing. Now he wants to make all the utility companies that burn natural gas and coal completely capture CO2. I mean, somebody's got to wake these people up and realize that plants need carbon dioxide. Otherwise, there's no plants, there's no oxygen. We don't live, so we need carbon dioxide. I agree with the pollution part, but we stopped the pollution coming out of these plants, 40 years ago? It's another one of these brilliant ideas by Joe that when we finally get a competent person in the White House, they'll go, eliminate that one, eliminate that one, just eliminate the entire Biden presidency and let's pretend it didn't exist. And we'll just take all that stuff off the books and we'll get back to normal. So that was that. But that was pretty much the extent of what it is. Oh, I did want to tell everybody one thing today. In case y'all had a Facebook account, anywhere since 2007, which is probably pretty much everybody, Facebook lost another class action suit or whatever, settled another one. I think this one's $750 million that they've got to pay out. There's a story on it on Fox News. Go look at that. There's a link there that you guys can see what the link is to participate in the class action lawsuit to get whatever pittance 12 cents back or whatever it is. But get involved there and get some of the money back that way, and we'll go from there. Kevin, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I hope I see it coming across my computer over and over. I hope you're just not hitting 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020. No, it's just showing up once. Okay. It's just showing on my screen like you did it 20 times. I'm hoping not. So, but thank you very much for the super chat. That's greatly appreciated. And go into the Christmas kitty for whatever contest we come up with this year. So, all right. Speaking of contests, kind of know why a lot of you are here. As you well know, we are giving away a Mango E tonight, which that's that monstrosity that I reviewed the other day. This is a big generator, guys. 2 of them will run your house, okay? So, because you need 2 of them to do 240 volt. But this is another promo from Wellbots. If you guys if you were in the market for it, if you looked at the deals they've got, there's some seriously good deals on these things. So, but all the links for all of that is in the review video from Thursday morning. Go check that out if you're interested in purchasing one. Or if you're the winner tonight, purchasing a second one. So kind of go from there. All right. So I want to get into how this works, because if we've got some new people here, I will explain this. In order to enter for the drawing tonight, obviously you're here, so that's a good thing. Okay. You have to live in the contiguous 48, the lower 48 states. Okay. And in your comment below that video, you had to put the state in which you live in and your favorite sport fish, okay, fish that you go fishing for, right? Like I said in the video, if you put goldfish in there, goldfish is not a valid entry, okay? It's got to be something you're going to go fishing for. If you put koi in there or carp or something, which goldfish are, I'll take that. I don't know anybody that fishes for koi, but fishing for carp I get, but we'll see what happens. All right, so all decisions by the judge are final. This guy's the judge, so that's how it works. What I'm going to require, beg, borrow, steal, ask, however you want to put it. When I flip this over, guys, and we go to the random comment picker, please stop making comments in the chat room. Reason is, you guys all know I put it on slow mode, so you can only respond every 90 seconds. Well, I only give you 3 minutes to announce you're here. If you say something and then you got to wait 90 seconds, you're only going to get one more chance to say I'm here. And if we don't see your name, me or the moderators, I'm sorry. All decisions by this guy, again, are final. If I don't see your name, you may have said it, I'm here, but if everybody else blasted by, it may not happen. You don't want it to happen to you, don't do it to somebody else. Please do not comment. I'm very seriously considering doing, haven't done it yet. Okay, if people will listen, I'm fine. If people don't, what we're going to do is put everybody on a 5-minute timeout if they comment while we're waiting, and then they basically eliminate themselves from consideration, because then they can't answer in 3 minutes. So, guys, respect each other. Please do silence on the comments. So, all right, let us get, I want to say one other thing. I'm using the other random comment picker, not the same one the one I used once before, have been using the main one lately. The main one decided that they're going to limit the comments to, they're only going to pick from 1,000. Well, we got 2,500 people in here, and I think there's probably nearly 3,000 people commented on the video. So, again, sorry, if you're only going to limit it to 1,000, you lost my business. These companies have to understand, they can make the rules, but I make the decisions on what I'm going to use, and so do you. Bud Light wants to go completely mental patient happy? Good. Well, I'll just stop drinking Bud Light, no problem. Proton Mail wants to start checking my email? Fine, I got rid of it. By the way, guys, do not send anything to Proton Mail. I have canceled that account, so if you're sending it, I'm not getting it. So use the new email address that's below the videos. Same thing here. They want to start restricting how many comments they can pick through. I'll just use something else. So, all right, so let's flip this over. Where did they change it to? Okay, there we go. And there we go. So you see the YouTube random comment picker. So we are going to put in the link from Thursday's video, because that was the only place that you can enter. So that's the only place that you're going to get an entry. And we are going to hit fetch. We are not including replies. Like I said, it had to be primary comments over. All right. We're not allowing duplicates. Everybody gets one entry. So at this point, guys, please stop making all comments. We are going to pick a winner. Let's see how many we have. And we'll see how many entries we got as we tick on along. All right, now remember, if I draw your name, you have 3 minutes from the time I draw it. I'll tell you how much time you have to say, I'm here. You don't need to put anything else. You can if you want, but make it simple. Just say, I'm here. We have 2,732 entries. How many of those are valid? We will see. But like I said, got to meet the criteria. So let's go and pick a winner. SHTF Prepper. Thanks, Pinball and Elliot, for a chance at this mental security. My favorite sport fish is rainbow trout. Reminds me of my grandfather and cherished memories. East Tennessee resident. There you go. That is a valid entry. So SHTFT Prepper, you are tentatively the winner if you are here. So you have until 9:13 to say you are here. SHTFT Prepper. Do. This is always the fun part because sometimes we get people that jump in right away. I'm just going to flip this over here so you guys aren't looking at everything crazy. SHTFT Prepper, where are you? Mods, please keep an eye out. I'm going to look in the participants here and see if they are here. Okay, according to the participants list, they're not here. So we will see if they come. I'll still give them 3 minutes because we've had it before where they weren't listed in there, but they were here. So this is always the one that bothers me. Got till 9:13, but SHTF Prepper. I had it happen one time. We gave away a Delta Pro, $3,500 worth of prize, and the person wasn't here and saw their name drawn the next morning, and that has got to completely suck. This is nearly a $4,000 prize to find out, oh gee, I forgot about the live stream. Oops, that was an expensive mistake. Let's see, SHTFT Prepper, are you here? It's now 9:11, 2 minutes to go. Guys, y'all may get a second chance. We'll see. Again, I know I made it clear in the review that you had to be present to win. So every one I've ever mentioned has had to be present to win. So this is nothing new. We always do it on a live stream. That way you guys can see it's completely on the up and up. So still waiting. 9:12. 1 minute. Yes, my good old NA beer tonight. TikTok, SHTF Prepper, I'm betting you are probably under 30 seconds at this point. As soon as my clock ticks, we will flip and do it again. If you come in after I flip the computer, I'm sorry, too late. 3 minutes are up. TikTok, TikTok. Thank you, Robert. Guys, please don't say I'm here unless you're the winner. It's just going to get you tossed. So, well, it's not funny. Let's put it that way. And time's up. All right, we are going for another winner. We will see if we find somebody who actually is here. So flip it over. Gotta blow up the screen so you guys can see it. There we go. All right, let's close this out, and we're going to pick another one. And this time we have Delta Prepper. Hi, Pinball from Mississippi. There's one. Around here, when the dogwoods are blooming, it means the crappie are biting. Thanks for all you do. Delta Prepper, that is a valid entry. Spelled crappie wrong, but that's okay. Delta Prepper, you have until 9:16 to say you are here. Delta Prepper. We'll flip this over again. All right. There we go. Jacob saw it for sure. Delta Prepper. Delta Prepper, I'm here. There we go. All right. Congratulations. We have a winner for a Mango E and a couple of 400-watt solar panels going to Mississippi. Delta Prepper, what I'm going to need you to do, is email me your name, physical mailing address, not a P.O. box, and your phone number. Get it to me tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever would be. I will send it over to Elliot. They usually get stuff out midweek, so you should probably have this Friday or Saturday. But congratulations, you are the new proud owner of a Mango E solar generator. So congratulations. All right, let me move this over to me and get a little reorganized here, and we will get on with regularly scheduled programming. There we go. Okay, so I can see everything. All right, so good deal. Congratulations. Adding another prep to the toolkit, which is always good. So don't know when the next one is yet, but I have talked to a couple of companies that are interested in me taking a look at their product. I had a couple of them that I talked to this week that either I'm not interested in working with them or they are not interested in working on our terms. And so therefore, sorry, no, I'm not reviewing video games. That's not going to happen as usual. But a couple of other things just are not good products, and I'm not going to even put my name in front of them. So that was it. All right, so let's get into normal Q&A. If you're new here, this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. It is a chance for you to ask questions about what's on your mind. When you ask a question, do me a favor, please put it in all caps. That way I can go through. There's 2,400 of you guys in here. That way I can see the comments a lot quicker and I can get through more. What I would suggest is pay attention to the comment section, the chat itself, because I don't have all the answers, guys. It's kind of what I brought Nate on the other day. He's got different answers than I do. And, together we've probably got pretty damn close to all of them, but individually, none of us have all of them. So, somebody else in here may be able to answer your question. Keep an eye on the chat when you ask something too. Also, please remember, I'm usually running 10 to 15 minutes behind your questions because what takes you 5 seconds to type, I got to go through a whole bunch of them. So be patient. If you got your question in by about 9:40, I will probably get to it. Anything after that, probably not. The one thing I do require, guys, please keep everything friendly. Okay, we're here for camaraderie, not to be a pain in each other's ass. Right? Disagreement is totally cool. I'm fine with that. That makes for good conversation. Being rude is not. That will get you the boot. There aren't second chances. Done. Mods will toss you out of the live stream. If it's bad enough, they'll tell me about it and I'll toss you off the channel. So that's one thing I have no patience for, is people being obnoxious, people being rude. Treasure Seekers, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Help with the shipping. That'd be 100 pounds. There you go. All right, let's get into this and see where we got. So I'm going to get to... Come on, computer. There we go. No? Are you going to go to the bottom? Let's try refreshing this. All right, computer. Well, YouTube's going to be argumentative. Okay, here we go. All right, now let's get to where you guys started asking questions. Okay. Amy Arsenault, what do I use to fertilize my regular potatoes, my typical Irish potatoes? I put my all-purpose fertilizer in, the coffee grounds, chicken bones, yada, yada, yada. I'll put it in. I sent everybody that sheet a week or so back that asked for it for the fertilizer chart, or the seed guide and everything like that I have. But as I've got on there, you're putting that all-purpose, that bone meal, banana peels, coffee grounds in. I'll broadcast it when I plant, and then at about 6 weeks, then I will kind of side dress everything as I'm hilling potatoes and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. If you are going to use chemical fertilizers, just use some 10-10-10 at planting and at 6 weeks. That's it. All right, moving on along. Larife Larson, Pinball, what do you think about burying a few sardines with tomato plants? Beneficial? Absolutely. Okay. Every time I'm planting any sort of trees or bushes or anything like that, I throw some fish in there. If I've got fish that I caught or fish heads or anything like that, it's a great slow release fertilizer. If you're going to throw, like when I'm planting all these evergreens that I showed you guys before, the ones that I'm planting around the perimeter of the yard, I threw a can of sardines under each one of them. Use these sardines packed in water, preferably. The oil's not terrible, but preferably you want to use the ones packed in water if you're going to use sardines. Try to buy them at the dollar store as cheap as you can. You're just looking for that slow release fertilizer. Yes, planting with tomato plants or something like that is fine. The only thing is, if you're getting the sardines cheap enough, it's not bad. But I mean, even now if you're finding them cheap, you're getting them for $1, $1.25 a can at the dollar store. That can add up pretty quick. So, but yeah, it's still a good idea. Holly H, when will we get to hear Mrs. P's story about being hungry in Moscow? I've told you some of it. Mrs. P is pretty camera shy. She doesn't want to be on camera that often. She's done a couple, her cooking videos or something like that. But I ask her, but I'm not going to try to force her. When she decides she wants to come on and talk about something, I'll let her, but I'm not going to force her into it. I'm not going to pressure her. Veronica Dornbos, how do I keep rabbits out of my garden? Marigolds will help. Planting onions and garlic on the perimeter will help. Fencing it is going to be the best. I mean, again, I know people don't want to, even if you just put chicken wire around it, that will help immensely. If you can't or don't want to do that, plant marigolds, garlic, onions, alliums, anything like that around, that will help. Okay. But again, it depends on the crops you're growing. I mean, if you've got lettuces and cabbages and kale and spinach all in the same garden, which you shouldn't, okay, I mean, that's a buffet table to a rabbit. So, Mike Duncan Sr., freeze warnings in southern Missouri tonight. We're supposed to get down, I think, to 34 or 35 here. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's funny. We were out, like I said, out in the garden today looking at the cabbages. And I mean, the cabbage plants are 2 feet wide by this point, if not more. And the nice part about it is because it's been so cool and cabbages like cool weather, there is not a lick of bug damage on there. And I haven't sprayed anything near my cabbages, haven't had to use any Caterpillar, BT or anything like that yet, because it's too early for the bugs. So the cabbages are doing well. Linda S, do I mulch my vegetable gardens? I've read not to use straw because it's a bug shelter. No, I don't, because I use a weed barrier. And again, it depends on where you are. The first year we were here, we put wood chips down and everything like that. Congratulations, what did we find? We had termites in our gardens. Okay, so we're not using that anymore. So the option then is either use cedar or cypress, which I use in my flower gardens, okay, because that prevents termites, but that also doesn't decompose very quickly at all. So that's kind of defeating the purpose because you want to add compost and everything in your garden. So we don't do anything in the way of mulch or whatever. I use the woven fabric weed barrier over the gardens, and we did that last year, and that's the solution for growing in Tennessee. Different areas could grow great. Not to use straw because it's a bug shelter. It's a garden. Okay, the bugs are going there. Some of them you want to go there. Okay, I do grow in straw. I grow my sweet potatoes in straw, and don't have any sort of problem whatsoever. So, but I've got straw all over my yard right now. And Mrs. P said today when she was out there, she found some spiders in the straw. Sure, okay, it's nature. It's going to happen. I live in the woods. Okay, we're gonna have bugs all over the place. But yeah, it's no matter what you put in your, you put wood chips down or you put weed barrier down or anything like that, bugs are going to go under it. I mean, you look at Danny and Deep South Homestead, and they talk about putting down the landscape fabric, the weed barrier, and they get fire ants under it. It's different everywhere. There is no perfect solution, guys. Okay, you got to do what's best, what's not going to do damage, but don't be afraid of a few bugs. They're not going to hurt you. BT Dark Moon, have I ever grown potatoes by removing the long chits from potatoes, rooting them and planting them? No, I've never done it that way. I always remove the long chits and then plant the the seed potato and let the chits keep growing. Uh, Barstool Prophet heard a prepper propose that you should have to own property, not rent, to be able to vote. No, okay, that's penalizing people. There's plenty of people in this country that maybe not even financial, don't have the need to own a house. If you're I'll use this one as an example. If you're a traveling nurse, are you going to own a house? I mean, you may be somewhere for 6 months. Go to the next assignment. I spent so many years working in recruiting. I recruited permanent employees. I recruited a lot of contractors, nuclear engineers. Okay, the guys that work at the nuke plants. Most of them are contractors. And what do? They go to one place, they're there for a couple of years. They go to the next place, they're there for a couple of years. They'll take 6 months off. They'll go to the next place, they're there for a couple of years, whatever it would be. No, I don't. I think that's ludicrous as an idea. Julie Peaks, do you not consider Alaska as part of the USA? I don't know why you say that. Of course, I consider Alaska as part of the USA. If you're asking why only the contiguous 48 for the live stream, that's because the company can only ship to the contiguous 48. Not my rules. If you'd prefer, I cannot do the contests at all, and we cannot do any sort of giveaways at all. I'm sorry, I can't ship to Spain or Alaska or Bolivia or whatever it is. I'm offering help for people. If you don't live in the contiguous 48, I'm sorry. That was your decision, not mine. Okay, it's the company's decision where they're going to ship something, not mine. Okay. Yes, I consider Alaska part of the United States. Yes, I consider your comment extremely rude. Lynn Erskine, have leaves on tomato plants turning yellow? Any suggestions as what to do? If they are still in cups, my guess is they're probably root bound. They're ready to be planted. They probably also ready to get out in the sun. So again, depending on where you live, it might be time to start hardening them off. I mean, for me, my tomato plants will go in the ground here next weekend. So I'll be hardening mine off this week. But if they're yellow, it means either you're underwatering, overwatering, one of the two, okay? Lack of nitrogen or they're root bound. Buzzard Prepper, when do I expect it 100,000 subs? I have no idea, okay? Mrs. P and I thought we'd get there before Christmas. Here it is, the end of April. And that all depends on how YouTube manipulates, how many of you guys have told me I was unsubscribed, whatever it would be. I don't know. When it happens, it happens. I can't guess. Probably pretty soon. But I mean, it could be, who knows? I mean, it could be weeks, months. I don't know. Broken Dolly, don't forget to remind the winner I have a new email address. Yes, like I said, the email address is down below. It's under the video here. Guys, if you look down there, it's pinballpreparedness@mail2world.com. Do not send anything to the Proton Mail account anymore. I've deleted that account, and there's no way in the world I would recommend Proton Mail to anybody, considering they're supposed to be a secure email, right? Except apparently they're reading your emails and decided to suspend my account. And then after I bitched them out, oh, we're sorry, we must have made a mistake. No shit, I'm not going to make a mistake. You won't get a chance to do it a second time. That's pretty much how that works. Okay, goodbye. And then I got a survey today. How do you rate your customer service? You really? You want add insult to injury? Keep asking me. I'll keep telling you. Kenneth Swan, will I be doing a meet and greet this summer? Certainly not this summer. If we do them in the fall. I am seriously considering doing one this fall again. I've been looking into some places, this time going a little north into Kentucky. But again, the issue is to find a place that has ample space, that has ample parking. I mean, I'm not renting out a convention center or a meeting hall at, a hotel or something like that. So, I'm looking for a park type area or whatever where we can all get together. Uh, I don't mind if it costs me a couple of $100 or whatever to reserve the place, but I'm not spending $5,000 to do it. It's just not happening. And then the other thing is I know we have to have ample space because the last time I did this, we were allowed, 250 people, I think it was, or something like that. And I had to turn half the people that wanted to come away because the place I got was too small. That was when I had 25,000 subscribers. Now we're close to 100. So, getting the feeling that you probably get a lot more people. So I need to find a big venue. Churn Dash Farm, Pinball. How often do you put new fertilizer spikes around your fruit trees? Once at the beginning of the spring, once at the beginning of fall. That's it. Trying this. Okay, there we go. Shot to the bottom. All right. Ruse Mountain Home. Do I know of anywhere I can get elderberry plants around where you are? I actually had a couple of years ago when I got mine. I actually had to order them over the internet. So no, I don't. I like I said, I ordered them. But I will tell you this: once you get them growing, they're hardy as anything because we moved them from the front yard to the backyard last year. They're doing fine. Actually, I took a couple of cuttings off them, gave them to Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Preps, and I think one of the two cuttings made it. So, Dara, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And of course, YouTube is arguing with me here. Let's see. You're most welcome for the content. All right. Sharon Schick, do you or Mrs. Pinball ever make wild violet jelly? No, we don't, but we do have wild violets that come up in the yard this time of year. So, no, we've never made wild violet jelly. Tam K, thanks for the pickling cucumbers. They're all coming up. So excited. There you go. Yeah. So all those seeds I sent you guys last year, yeah, keep me posted as how they're going. So, I like to hear the fact that, you guys are getting it out of it. Lisa P, you're at 99,000. Bet you reach 100,000 by next week. Again, we'll see. I hope, maybe. LC, I freeze dried banana peels. How can I integrate like I did with eggshells and vinegar? Okay, you freeze dried them. Okay, I can't tell you anything about freeze drying. It's not what I dry mine. I dry mine in the oven. You can dry them in a dehydrator. Freeze dried, I don't know. But what you want to do with your banana peels is grind them up, in the blender or whatever, get them down to like the consistency of the coffee beans. Your chicken bones, do the same thing, mix that together, and that winds up your balanced fertilizer. As for freeze drying them, I don't know. Okay, I don't have a freeze dryer, have no intention of getting a freeze dryer. I wouldn't know how to do anything with it once they were done. So that one's beyond me. Michelle Jones, is it time to do potatoes yet? Mine are trying to plant themselves. Depends on where you are. My potatoes went in about a week ago. So it all depends on the zone you're in. I'm in zone 6B. For me, yeah, potatoes need to go in. For those people who are saying it's still snowing, no, potatoes not going in. For those that are down south, they probably, South Texas, Gulf Coast, they probably should have been in 6 weeks ago. So, yeah. Daniel Steven, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. I would say I'm amazing. Just another one of the guys. Let's see. Tap Happy, can we use decaffeinated coffee grounds? Yeah, you're looking for the beans, not the caffeine content. I drink decaf coffee, so yes, it's decaf coffee grounds are fine. Buzzard Prepper, do chemical fertilizers such as 10-10-10 cause problems for your garden down the road? Absolutely. Nate did a good description of it when we talked on the porch a few days ago about how you're literally killing your soil. And then, like I said, all you're doing is you're adding a lot of sodium to the soil, which eventually is killing your soil too. You're not going to grow plants in salt. And the plants are taking up quickly all that nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium that's in those fertilizers, but all the salt, the binding agent and stuff like that, that just stays in your garden. You're just building up salt in your garden. So over time, what you're doing is killing your garden. Uh, Healthy disrespect for authority. How many sardines per hole? Again, depends on what you're planting. Like I said, for little foot tall evergreens, I was using a whole can of sardines. If you're putting in a little tomato plant, maybe this big, I'd say maybe two. So, but I mean, again, you're not going to hurt the plant because you're not going to burn the plant with natural fertilizers. You can burn your plants with chemical fertilizers, but with organic stuff, you're not going to burn the plant because it's got to be processed by the microbes and everything like that that are in the soil first. You know, the plant isn't going, hey, cool, coffee grounds. I'm going to get a cup of coffee to start the day. It's got to be processed by the microbes, by the earthworms, everything turned into something that the plants can uptake. KP Tiger, what keeps tomatoes from getting rotten spots on the vine and inside? Uh, the rotten spots you're talking about, I'm betting you're talking about blossom end rot. If you're getting black spots on the bottoms of tomatoes, and that's a lack of calcium, that is why the eggshell juice that I talked about making is very good. That's why I say put crushed up eggshells in your planting holes with a couple of drops of vinegar to kind of release it a little bit. But the eggshell wash, calcium sulfate, anything, you've got a calcium deficiency. Tug Hill, do I have a list of plants that can be planted next to each other? I don't keep a list. I use the Farmer's Almanac garden planner, and so that'll tell me what is companion planting or whatever. I'm not necessarily a huge believer in companion planting. Some things, yes. Okay. I mean, do you want to plant peas next to your bean or corn next to your peas or your beans? Yeah, because they're a nitrogen fixer, and it's the corn, it needs a lot of nitrogen, so that's going to help. That's why you want to do something like that. You don't want to plant your broccoli next to your cabbage, next to your cauliflower, next to your Brussels sprouts, because they're all in the same family. They're all brassicas, and they're going to share the same disease. And if you get the disease in one crop, it's too easy for it to spread to all four of them at that point. So in those respects, yes, I do. I also do believe in rotating your crops, but you know, when somebody says, oh, you should never plant carrots next to peas, no. Okay. Maybe that's their experience or whatever, but it's not going to be that, it's not going to be noticeable for a difference, put it that way. TJ Katz, how often do I use your vinegar eggshell mixture? At planting. That's all you should need to use it. So. Oh boy, SHTF SHTFT Prepper. Thank you for the super chat. Unfortunately, I wish you were here half an hour ago because we drew your name to start the live stream and you weren't here. Much love to you and Elliot. I was going to give it back to the community anyway, so it worked out fine. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay with it, but I'm sorry that happened. Let's see. Booney June, CNBC ran an article that will run out of rice. Have you heard anything about it? Yeah, there's a shortage of rice because you have terrible weather that's gone through Asia. And so the rice crops are down. I talked about the rice deal the other day, where you also have the world governments or the World Economic Forum and all the liberal governments with their war on rice because rice emits too much methane and, you know, we can't have that. It's, you know, rice is detrimental to climate change, that sort of crap. But yeah, there is, don't believe their hype that we're going to run out of rice. Rice may get more expensive because there's going to be a shortage this year, apparently. But no, we're not going to run out of rice. Okay, rice is not going extinct. You know, CNBC, you know, hair on fire. Oh my God, we've got to blow this story up to panic everybody. No. All right. Yes, there's going to be probably a price hike in rice this year. Absolutely. all of us should have plenty of rice. I mean, that's pretty much like the first thing you get when you're a prepper. We should have plenty of rice put away, so it shouldn't affect us. Uh, Kristen Truitt, how long can the urine be stored, or is it pee as needed for the fertilizer? Usually about a week. After that, it starts turning into ammonia. Okay, and after a week, you can still go pour. After a week, you can still go pour it on your compost pile and be fine. But try to use it relatively fresh within a week. If you're gonna just mix it with water and sprinkle it or put it in your flowering pot or whatever, try to use it within a week. Bruce O'Brien, wood ashes around fruit trees. Yes, however, be careful. Okay, too much of anything is a bad thing, and when you're using wood ashes, I mean, if you're going to put them around a young fruit tree, I mean, you maybe want to put a cup tops. That's about it. Okay, don't overdo it, because what you'll do is you'll wind up killing the tree. April Drescher, when you made the it's orange peel vinegar, is it supposed to turn orange? Yes, mine looks like orange juice. Yes, so does mine. Okay, and again, for something like that, it's got about, yeah, it's pretty much roughly the color of orange juice. But I mean, I use it to pour around my blueberries and my azaleas. That's what it's good for me. PK, liked seeing your guests with channels, Garden Like a Viking. Who's next on the guest list? Magic Prepper and I may get together sometime over the summer. He's one we've talked about. So we've talked about getting together there. That's the next one as far as I know. Would love to talk to Patera. She's close. Let's see. Kenneth Oliver, do I top pepper plants in order to make them grow bushier? I top my tomatoes because I don't want them to get too high. My pepper plant, you got to remember, guys, I'm almost 7 feet tall. Okay, so getting something that's a little taller is not terrible for me. But my pepper plants get up to about 6 feet high. That's fine. I mean, for me, I'd rather have them a little taller than short and squatty, less I have to bend over. Okay, as long as they produce the same, I'm fine. 22222. Ed, thank you for these super chats. Pervert Pete wants 20 million for female crash dummies. I saw something like that the other day. It's like, there are good reasons to have female crash dummies too. Okay, I mean, because men and women are built differently, and they've had female crash dummies for a long time. But yeah, Pete and his $20 million. Don't you love how good he is at spending other people's money? I mean, remember his nickname in South Bend was Pothole Pete because he couldn't fix the potholes in the road. Okay. And so let's make him the Department of Transportation, Secretary of Transportation. He's the job is way over his head. I mean, he has no qualification. He has no qualifications to be the mayor of South Bend, and South Bend's got 100,000 people. Okay. He was a failure there. Gee, let's promote him. That would be the liberal way. Sunshiny Days, Pinball, what's the best way to fertilize blueberry bushes? Okay, first thing with blueberry bushes, you got to remember they like acidic soil. All right. So you need to get some soil acidifier. Job's is fine. It's organic. You can use vinegar. Okay. You can use unbrewed coffee grounds too. Those will work. For me, for fertilizing my berries, my strawberries, my gooseberries, my goji berries, everything like that, blueberries, blackberries, I just use, again, Job's organic berry tone. It's simple. I find it on sale at the end of the year. They're usually was it $7.99 a bag for a 3-pound bag or whatever it is. I go to Walmart at the end of the year and it's $1 on clearance, and I just buy everything they got and I use it the next year. But that's what I use. It's just very simple because, again, we're not talking about chemical or anything like that. It works fine. DJ, what would I do about moles in the garden? I've been asked this question many times. I can't answer because I don't have them, so I don't, never had a problem with them. Scott Graham, suggestions for keeping groundhogs out of the garden. Same question or same answer. I don't have them. Can't give you an answer. uh, Tim Greenway, what type of sport fish are you putting in the pond? This year I am putting in bluegill. I'm going to let them grow a little bit, and next year I'm going to put largemouth bass in, and that'll be it. It'll be bass and bluegill. That's it. No carp, no catfish, no grass carp, no nothing like that. It's the pond isn't big enough. I want bass and bluegill in there, and that's it. Huts John, sardines are 1 ounce for $1.19 at Kroger. Their mackerel cans are 15 ounces of fish for $2.89 or 69 cents cheaper for the same amount of fish. There you go. Yeah, same thing. I've used mackerel in there too. We get sometimes I can find cans of mackerel at the dollar store. I mean, the best thing to do, guys, is go fishing. Even if you catch the little ones, keep the little ones. Throw them in a compost pile or throw them in for planting. Bluegills are good for that too. Uh, let's see. Healthy disrespect. Did I hear Alex Baldwin got off? Not even a slap on the wrist. Of course, you knew that was coming. Okay, you knew there was going to be this under the table. Hey, you know what? I'll slip you a couple $100,000 for your next reelection campaign. Just make this go away. And that's what happened. It just made it go away. You know, he's still a dirtbag. I don't care. He'll still answer one day. I mean, I'm sorry, he's a murderer. Period. Okay. The gun went off by itself. Even the FBI came out and said that's impossible. Okay, but remember, guns kill people, not people. Mountainstead fertilizer. What if no bananas or sardines from a can? What then? Yeah. Again, remember this, guys. Okay, up Walmart or Home Depot or whatever has only existed. The box stores or anything like that have only existed since maybe the 19 not the box stores. I'm saying like a hardware store. The 1930s or something like that. 1940s maybe. How do you think people grew food before then? They used what was around them. Okay, manures, compost. I mean, if you make enough compost, you don't need any fertilizers. Okay, and I mean compost teas. I showed you guys once how to take basically whatever you got. The weeds, the dandelions, the grass clippings, some shredded up leaves, a little bit of urine. Throw it in a 50-gallon bucket. Put some water on it. Throw the lid on there and leave it for a month, and you will have this black anaerobic highly potent fertilizer that take a cup of, mix it into a gallon of water. I mean, literally, so I put it on my tomato starts last week. They doubled in size in 4 days. Okay, just give you that. There's no chemicals whatsoever. All that is trash that I picked up from my yard, weeds, grass clippings, lawn clippings, whatever it would be, peat in there, and that was it. Put some water in, let it sit. Now it's been sitting there for 2 years because I just keep adding stuff to it, and it gets better and better and better and better and better. Okay, but you don't have to buy any fertilizers. If you got no bananas or sardines from a can, use what you do have. That's the thing. If you live in Arizona, chances are you're not going to get a whole bunch of leaves, for shredded leaves or leaf mold or anything like that. But I'll bet you there's some way that you can use, I don't know, cactus or whatever it is for fertilizer. You got it. It's organic material. It will decompose. You can turn it into fertilizer. That's what Mother Nature does. The forest outside your backyard or whatever it is, isn't going. The garden gnomes aren't running to Home Depot in the middle of the night and buying their triple 13 and going, okay, we got to fertilize everybody. Just mimic nature. That's what you're trying to do. Garden Matic, if a rabbit can dig a tunnel all the way to Albuquerque, we're all in trouble. There you go. Mesha Carlisle, how do I get rid of fungus gnats? Looks like I'm tiny in my outdoor raised beds. You have fungus gnats in your outdoor beds? The only thing I can think of is you're overwatering. That I mean, if you take the food away, you know, take away all the water, you can take away the fungus, you can take away the fungus gnats. Just I have a feeling you're overwatering. Let's see. Roy Henderson, do I have any advice about using feed sacks for a weed barrier? I don't see why not. I mean, split them, flatten them out. I don't see why they wouldn't. They're going to keep the weeds down. They're permeable, so the water's going to be able to get through them. Yeah, I think that'd be a good option. You know, the only downside is they're small, so you're going to have to, need a whole lot more stakes for it. I mean, small relatively. They're not 6 feet by 300 feet long. So you're gonna have to stake them down a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Bricks in the wall. Hey Sarge, best tick repellent. Really bad this year. Okay, I use a thing in my yard called Eliminator, and I spread that every 2 years. You got to keep your lawn mowed, but I'm taking a guess you are going out in the woods, and that's where you're getting the ticks. Uh, anything that's got DEET in it should be good. Let's see. L Ford, snakes. What are we using for the snakes? I don't understand the question. Okay. Donna D, when you hill the potatoes, is it okay to cover the bottom leaves with dirt? Yeah. I mean, obviously, you don't want your potato plant to be a foot high and you're covering the whole thing. But yeah, when you're hilling your potatoes and you cover the bottom leaves, no big deal whatsoever. Uh, D Freak, our town makes you live here 1 year before you're allowed to vote in local elections. That's interesting. I don't know about the legality of that, but I can't say if it is or it isn't. But I've never heard of something like that where you had a residency requirement. I mean, you have to live there, but if that's my official address, yeah, I should be able to vote. I mean, if somebody ever fought them on it, my guess is they'd lose. This is my permanent address. I moved here 6 months ago. I want to vote for county mayor or for city mayor. Sorry, you can't. We'll see you in court. Uh, Dan, do I ever miss Italian beef? Yes, I make it occasionally, but it's still nothing like Carms or anything like that. Yes, I miss Italian beef. Uh, let's see. Sandra Johnson, how do you deal with squash bugs? I pick them off, but bugs under the leaves are harder to get. Okay, so you're not talking about vine borers. You're talking about squash bugs. The best way is again to get yourself some BT and spray your plants with them. But like you said, with squash, with cucumbers, or anything like that, you're gonna have to get up underneath and spray the bottoms too. So, uh, you know, but you're doing the right thing. You're looking for them and getting rid of them. You can blast them, take some soapy water. That'll at least get rid of them. Uh, but yeah, picking them off, doing whatever. Keep doing what you're doing. There is no great solution. BT's about the best you're going to get because it'll at least stay for a little bit. But you're going to have to reapply it after every rainstorm too. Uh, Paul Barrett, Pinball. My wife and I are looking at property in Tennessee and West Virginia. Well, there you go. Good luck to finding it. I know down here it's getting more and more and more expensive because it seems like everybody and their mother wants to move to Tennessee. Ray, how do you harden plants? Okay, because you're growing them inside, in your greenhouse or in the living room window or whatever it is. Hardening a plant is taking them outside and getting them used to the elements slowly. Take your plants outside for a couple hours the first day, bring them back in the house. Take them out for 4 hours the second day, bring them back in the house. Take them out for 6 hours the third day, bring them back in the house. And just do that for about a week and leave them overnight. Let them experience sunshine, cloudy days, the wind. Near the end, let them get used to being out overnight when it gets cold. Because you don't want to take that plant that's been used to growing in a nice 70-degree, getting its light and everything like that, and throwing it outside and going, here, deal. It's like, what the hell is this? Gradually get them used to it. Disney up boiler up pinball. I have squash in the ground about 4 to 5 inches high already with flowers. Should they have flowers this small? I know planted way too early. They were getting root bound in the cups. Uh, yeah, I pull the flowers. I give it some time to get a stronger, because otherwise you're going to get little squash this big. Okay. It's going to try to put all its energy into growing squash, no energy into growing the plant, and the plant won't be able to sustain the squash, and you're not going to get anything. Pull those flowers off. Let the plant get a little bit bigger so it can support the squash. Lorna, promise to wear your tinfoil fedora again, and you'll be over 100 faster. No, I'm not going to promise anything, because then I got to stick to it. And I'm too much of a fly by the seat of my pants. What do I feel like doing today? Han Solo, renters should be able to vote in general, but property tax issues should be owners only votes. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree on that one. I mean, even though renters are paying the property tax via their rent, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one whatsoever, because the property tax issues are paid for by the property owners. I'm agreeing with you there. The only thing is, where you get into that is property tax also pays for schools, and renters send kids to school. Property tax pays your police department. Renters have a right to a police department. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, but again, I'm not going to go there. Okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. Prep Rebel, thank you, thank you, and Elliot, for all you both do. Keep doing what you're doing. I plan on it as long as I can, as long as you guys will have me. Dwayne Bouchard, I used to work in a shipping department. I'll ask why you're very expensive. Second day shipping only. That's probably why they don't do it. Let's see. Oops, we're going to have to go to the bottom. There we go. Let's see what we got. Oh, we only got a couple of minutes. Farm Ranch Homestead today. Crash dummies that are 6'7" tall. I doubt it, because trying to get into a car is like, give me a shoehorn and a little bit of Wesson oil so I can slide in. Pat Kerr, what do I think about biochar? I think it's definitely something to add to the garden. You've seen me make it. I showed you guys that. Kim's Cluckers, my tomatoes get black at the stem. How do I fix that? At the stem? If it's at the stem, you have a fungus in your soil. You need to get a fungicide on there. Spectre, that'll never happen in my life. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. The second one I talked to, the first one, there ain't a wind. Like I said, I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. Dan T, how long can the eggshell stay in the vinegar so I can make it ahead of time? Once you've made that, that'll last for decades. So you're fine. Just leave it be and you're all set. Like I said, I make about a quart of it, and that's good for all my pepper plants and my tomato plants for the year, because you only have to put it on there once. Jackie Royce, what does wood ash do? Wood ash is a good potassium source to add to your plants. Pot ash, potassium ash, basically is what it is. Just do not use it anywhere around potatoes. It will give you potato scab. Mimi agreed, would love to see you in Patera discussion sharing. That would be fun. And let's see. TJ Pelfrey, silver, how long will it take in SHTF before it becomes relevant, if it does? It's not even going to take an SHTF event. It's going to take, when nobody wants the dollar, there's going to have to be some other means of barter. And you can already tell when states are legalizing gold and silver as tender now, what it's going to be. People are going to wake up real quick, and they'll know that, I don't want dollars. I'll take silver. That's it. It'll happen very quick. Farm Ranch, I have no idea who that is. Uh, Kim, I just talked about the biochar. Uh, the Krista cat. Birds will bring fish eggs to the pond on feet. You'll have a diversity in a few years. Uh, maybe. I haven't seen any yet. Uh, T-Bone, do I know of red or purple rice stores like white rices? No, I don't. I've never even heard of red or purple rice. I've heard of brown rice, and brown rice does not store well. Uh, but I can't speak for red or purple at all. Let's see. Matt Marshall, how can you make a blackberry bush grow faster? Fertilize it. I don't. That's the only answer I got. All right, one more because it's 10 o'clock. How do I like the weather in Tennessee compared to other places you've lived? Well, it's not as hot as it was in Vegas. I find that 50 years of living in the snow, 50 plus years of living in the snow, I'm sick of snow, so I'm glad that's gone. Uh, I do miss the snow around Christmas time, but come January 1st, I don't want any more snow. I hate driving and stuff. Uh, I like the weather here. It doesn't get too hot. It's not like the desert. Uh, we get the humidity, but it's not unbearable like it was in Boston. And we don't have winter. So, I mean, all in all, I probably prefer the weather here to pretty much anywhere I've been. So, all right, y'all, that is it. It is 10:01, so I've run long, but y'all have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Pinball out.